Barrister Darlington, let's start off with you now. The protest is already, we hear that those that have converged, a lot of them have been tear gassed and also some are being arrested. Barrister, some have argued about the possibility of this protest making things easier or tougher for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the man who is, the focus of all of this. What are your thoughts, really? Do you think this will help assuage the government and help make way for Kanu's release or complicate his travails?
In fact, if anything should happen to Nnamdi Kanu now, we should blame Sowore. Because,
really?
Yes.
You don't think his intentions are no?
He is the one who told us that the government have already taken a position to convict Nnamdi Kanu before you can now be talking of a political solution and all that. He said it himself. And so when you know about this, why are you doing what you are doing? I have never seen government in the world who was forced to do certain things. You don't force government to do things. You don't.
What do you mean you don't force government?
You don't force government to listen to you or to take a position and all that.
When it comes to fighting for rights of individuals.
No, this is not the way to do it. The courts are there if it is fighting for your right. But to force government and say, I want this person released today or else the country will burn. No government will listen to you. No, it has never happened, and it will not happen under Tinubu. That I was telling this man, look, stop this pranks you are playing. It's pranks as far as I'm concerned. Because he knows very well that this protest will not yield any fruit. The effort the Igbos have been making would have been more plausible if it was allowed to say through. But to Sowore have carried his useful exuberance and rascality to go and spoil our show. Because that's what he's doing now. No government will listen to him with the way he's going about this thing. No government.
Barrister, do you fear that the Igbo person in Nigeria, Lagos now, will come under attack? Because, let me lay the premise to it. Yesterday, there was a report from the executive director of Trade Fair Complex, Erelu, off the cuff, I can't remember her name now, but she said that it will be in the best interest of the traders of the trade fair, who most of them are Igbos, avoid the protest. And the protest is supposed to happen nationwide. Now she said it will be in their best interest because of the fragile nature of things in Lagos. And of course, that there is a high possibility that it would be hijacked and properties might be destroyed if they engage in the protest. And so she said, because of the court order from Abuja, it will be in the best interest. So is there some sort of fear that if there is a semblance of protest, some individuals might hijack it to ensure that the Igbo person who is doing business is pushed?
Look, that has been the modus operandi in Lagos. Whenever any protest is to happen in Lagos, you can be very sure that there will be counter by these agberos, street urchins. They will mobilize them.
Okay, I think her name is Erelu Barrister Vera Ndanusa. Yes, that's her name. The executive director, Trade Fair Complex, International.
That should have been Barrister Erelu.
Okay.
Now, what I'm saying is this, whichever way you look at it, this thing is not par. And the way Sowore is going about is what I don't even understand. Seriously. For over 2 or 3 weeks now, he has been speaking from both sides of the mouth, calling out Igbo leader. And when we say no, it cannot be Igbo leader, he now said the whole Nigeria. And when we say no, call out your own people. All this thing will tell you that it was not well thought out. To make matters worse, today is the NSAS remembrance. Today.
Well, yes, before now, we've had protests happen in Lagos, some sort of convergence around the toll gate on October 20th. It's been happening. Making this a national thing, don't you think it's significant?
No, what we are saying is that you want to suppress and kill the spirit of NSAS. Why not choose another date where it will resonate with everybody in Nigeria? You are not trying to dampen the spirit of NSAS. Those youth that died at toll gate, you mean they are not significant? Can't you give them reverence and respect? Because we are not the one that organized that protest. You want to kill it.
Barrister, let's be very clear on this. The Free Nnamdi Kanu protest is happening within the presence of Aso Rock and the National Assembly in Abuja. There's another protest that was organized, or that is organized by the Take It Back movement nationwide, to commemorate the 5th anniversary of NSAS protest. So I think the protest that Erelu is talking about is the Take Back the 5th anniversary protest.
No. That if it's so, he wouldn't have mentioned the trade fair people that they should not join. It's about Nnamdi Kanu.
But are you aware that the Take It Back movement is also organizing a protest? We brought the Benjamin here the other day, and he talks about the Take It Back movement conducting a protest against demolition and the NSAS anniversary, which is today.
You don't mix up these things. It doesn't speak well. There is a date, today's date. It should be anniversary for what? NSAS movement, where scores of our youth died. At least you give reference to that particular day. Then use your Free Nnamdi Kanu. A date is can be taken. How do you want to mix up the whole thing in one day? Where will you now go? Which people are going to protest for this, and which people are you going to divide yourself into two? It looks very, very unorganized.
Now, Barrister, when you talk about what this ED of trade fair, come up to talk about telling the people who hasn't trade fair to make sure that they are there, not to join the protest. Isn't that more like an overreach? Because protest should be a personal thing. So why, come up to tell persons that want to indulge part of the protest not to, or to shun it? Why bring up such directive?
Look, she is acting as a government official. If she's a member of that trade fair, whatever, do you expect them to clap for you that you want to protest? They will say what they usually do or say, disregarding the court order. But what I'm saying is that look, there is a way you will organize this protest.
Barrister,
yes.
sorry, please.
Yes. Do
you think, or could it be that the call for protest, I beg your pardon, could it be that the court order asking that there be no protest in certain areas of Abuja, the National Assembly, Eagle Square, and the rest is just giving for people to be arrested? Could that be the motive?
Yes, if you remember, listen very well. If you remember, October 1st, there was this rumor that some people were planning coup. And yes. At that point, the government had to be very cautious. That's why they said, avoid these areas, so that all these coup plotters may not join you in the guise of protester and do harm, especially in Aso Rock.
Okay.
Yes.
So what would be the way to go? Because about a better way to address these issues.
Good. Look, if you want to do protests of this nature, yes, you don't even need police or whatever. Are you getting it? It is for you now to organize this in such a way that police will now protect you and guide you.
But they've asked for police protection.
And they said, then if you want to go ahead, restrict yourself to those areas.
Which areas?
Those areas that the court say you should not even venture.
But the reason they are moving the National Assembly is to ensure that the National Assembly hears the voice of the people and decides to do something about it.
Anywhere you protest, they will hear you. As long as the press are there, they will carry all over Nigeria. As I'm talking to you now, we are viewing what is going on in Abuja. The people that have arrested, the tear gas and everything, they are seeing it. It doesn't have to be in Aso Rock for your message to be. And that's why we have been saying, that look, oh, this thing, you don't inflame the country because you want to protest another car. There are moves to free. There are moves to free him. You cannot tell me that the Igbos are just sitting down doing nothing. No.
No, Barrister, when you say there are moves to free Nnamdi Kanu, so many persons actually will be of the opinion that those moves are not yielding whatever.
Who told you that?
For example, we have 50 House of Rep members who went to visit the president, talk about the release. Also, we have so many other persons, even a former General Federation decided to be his counsel and all that. Now the back and forth, even his health challenge also is playing out, and the way the whole thing is going, some persons will say that those measures are not really working. You also share that on thought.
No, it's not possible.
No, there's been also a clamor for a political, settlement.
Kanu cannot remain in detention forever. It is not possible. And I give you examples. When Al-Mustafa, Abacha CSO, was arrested, he was in detention.
What if something
happens? Especially now that his health is bad.
Leave this off. What if?
No, but we have to consider what if.
Look, they have ordered for his medical examination.
And the man says, no,
I'm not feeling your feet to stand trial.
Okay, now.
So don't you think that report could be political?
No, listen very well. They have already, government wouldn't want him to die in detention. They know the outcome. They know what will happen if anything will happen to Nnamdi Kanu in detention.
But yes, he has been incarceration since 2021.
Well. The report of the doctors are there. That's what I'm saying. Whatever anybody is saying, Nnamdi Kanu can never remain in detention forever. It's not possible. It can never be. And I gave you examples of other people that eventually they were let go without any quarrel or anything. So why must Ushowore make the political capital out of this particular one? When Mustafa was there, did he protest until he was released? How about himself? How about Sunday Igboho and all the rest? So what I'm saying is that they cannot mess up all the moves we are making.
What if, I mean, if the man himself, Nnamdi Kanu, dissociates self from the protest, will that exonerate him from the likelihood of things getting out of hand?
I don't even think they will give him the opportunity to talk on it. I don't think so. What we are saying is that there are moves to free him. Don't go and mess it up. Because no government wants to be forced to do something. No government anywhere in the world.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister. Let's go to Chijoke Orji, who just joined us virtually now. Good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation. I do believe that you've been following. What are your thoughts, really, on the protest called for, the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu protest called for by Omoyele Sowore? Do you think it will truncate the efforts that are playing out already for his freedom? Do you think it will get him out or make things worse?
Thank you, first of all, for having me. Good morning to Nigerians. First of all, I'd like to say that the protest is actually in order. Omoyele Sowore has made a very bold move, a move that has now, raised questions as to the integrity, as to what the Ndigbo really stands for. There's a slogan that Ndigbos use to identify themselves, that Igwebike. Igwebike means that there's togetherness, is strength. But when we have an individual who has been echoing majorly on the marginalization of the Ndigbo, which is a visible, clear scene in all angles in Nigeria, I'd like to reiterate the fact that Omoyele Sowore has shown the fact that he's a true detribalized Nigerian. Omoyele Sowore has dared the government to indeed showcase if truly indeed this man has any justification to be kept behind bars without, being convicted. What he's simply asking for is that indeed the government can go ahead with its proceedings.
All right. Can you please tell me? Sorry to butt in at this point. Sorry to butt in at this point, but can you please tell me where protest helped to soften the minds of government in the case of El Zakzaki or any other person from anywhere else in the world, one who the government is, having issues with, and then protest by the person's people or supporters helped in softening the stance of government? Is there any?
In every aspect of life, in every country, protest has always brought to bear the voice of the people. The laws are meant for human beings.
Did it work in the case of El Zagzaki? I particularly pointed
in the case
that
of
one out.
El Zagzaki was a political thing. Let's not forget that it's about the same thing that El Zagzaki was facing with these persecutions.
Okay.
When they have people who are deliberately using the state powers against individuals, they will always ensure that the rule of law is not adhered to.
Okay, but
we
some
had in the case of
some have called that of Nnamdi Kanu also a political
let's not
issue.
forget that in the case of El Zagzaki,
a political solution.
You see, first of all, before I go to the political solution to Anno, I'd like to remind your guest in the studio that when he says that Omoyele Sowore is trying to spoil the show to free Nnamdi Kanu by the Igbo's efforts, I'd like to say categorically clear that there is no move by the Igbo. The moves have not yielded any efforts. Your powers determines your level of negotiation. The Indians have shown that they are cowards. Only to plead with former President Buhari, to now pleading with the current president, who I believe is a Democrat. We have seen the cited examples that demanding for self-determination is not a crime under the constitutions of Nigeria.
Okay.
If the people say that they don't feel justly being treated, just like currently we only hear of 3 ethnic majority in Nigeria. Meanwhile, there are other minorities that are being persecuted too. They too can decide one day and say, we also want to go our own way. We have seen it in several countries. After all, the ritual broke out from Ethiopia. Are there no human beings existing?
Okay, all right.
Welcome in a nation. They have a right to completely secede.
Okay.
The Sunday Igboho, in his own case, he pleaded for the same thing.
Okay.
Was he not under the same persecution? Why is he not behind bars?
All right, beautiful. Now, Chijoke, I'd like for us to talk about intentions and outcomes. Like they normally say, the best intentions don't necessarily bring about the best outcomes. Now, do you think that the government, as we have it today, the Nigerian state, let's even talk about the Nigerian state and not the government, do you think that the Nigerian state will yield to pressure, through a protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu? If you walk back and see, consider what Nnamdi has passed, what the Igbo nation has passed, the agitation itself, do you think that the government will necessarily or will ordinarily release Nnamdi Kanu because a few people, mounted protests?
It is not a matter of protest. This protest will definitely lead to the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Really?
Despite the fact that you will have pockets of individuals who will come out in the open to criticize it and say all sorts of things. Why? Because they are not privy to the build-up of all these whole cases. Let's not forget the real reason why this individual is being prosecuted for. Or perceived to be prosecuted.
Okay.
Because till date, the government is yet to come out with clear terms. We've had several cases brought up and several cases dropped. But again, I want to also let us know that the same protests being called up by Omoyele Sowore, he didn't say that people should come out with machetes. He didn't say that people should come out with guns. He didn't say that people should come out to maim and kill individuals. What he simply said is come out and let the world, which is now watching, see.
All right. All right, Chijoke, I would like for you to hold your thoughts.
down because
I
it's
don't know if you
simply
can hear
saying
me, but
people
I would
deserve
like for
to be
you
heard.
to hold your thoughts because we're getting live feed from Abuja, the venue of the protest. So please, gentlemen, stay with us as we go to Abuja to bring you live incidents happening as we join our correspondent in Abuja.
Hello, hello, Lagos. Hello, Lagos. I'm hearing you in the studio, so you can talk to me.
All right, Edobo, good morning if you can hear us. Good morning.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
You're
Fina.
live,
Good
please.
morning to
Let's
you.
get information. What is really happening in Abuja?
Yeah,
How's the protest going?
I can inform you that we are around the Federal Secretariat, the Central Business District of Abuja, and before early this morning, the police had come and cordoned off every part of the Central Business District, meaning that is the old, the three-arm zone where the judiciary, Aso Rock, and other places are blocked. As you can see behind me, they just began to allow some traffic to get through. You can see the ropes. The police cordoned off this place very early in the morning. That even behind the camera here, all the civil servants going to work could not even go. Unfortunately, however, right here, we've been tear gassed at least 5 times here. But I've been able to, at least in the usual VOP style, spoken with the police officers, and they have just calmed down and they've begun to allow traffic to go. So if you can see very well behind me, you can see this place is a beehive of activities usually, but there's nobody here now. And the protesters cannot be seen anywhere from here.
We're talking about the protesters. Do we have any person there, like Umoyele Showere or the team, or even Nigerians who have come up to say we want to protest?
I wanted to give our viewers a perception of what is going on around Aso Villa, the Secretariat, Old Parade Ground, and other areas where government business takes place, where the protesters want to seize. The information we had a few minutes ago is that the protesters are starting out from somewhere in Utako. So as soon as I finish reporting to you from here, I'm going to move down to Utako, where I believe that you will join me again, where I understand that some protest is beginning, and they are planning to move from Utako down this area. But first, we are getting an idea of what is going on here, that everywhere is cut off. The police have been shooting tear gas at us, and we are here.
That's the question.
So
now, the question is this. Why would the police use the tear gas on innocent persons who are applying the road when they are not protesting? So why will you people
That is the question we are asking, that these people are not even protesters. These are civil servants going to the office, but due to this place being cordoned off by the police, they could not access their office as vehicles were not allowed to pass through. So the vehicles had to drop the civil servants here. And then suddenly the police started shooting tear gas. I do not understand that. It is clear that the police are jittery. So everyone has to be very careful if they are watching us in Abuja here in accessing the 3-arm zone and the Secretariat today.
All right then. Oh, thank you very much, Adobo. Well, we can see, it seems the tear gas has fizzled out because we can see people moving around without covering their faces.
That's why I was
it seems they
are
are doing okay. But we'd like for you to let us know.
We are going to drive from here to
I can hear you.
where we understand that the protesters are gathering there. I don't know if the government is aware, and they are planning to move down. Utako, from here to Utako is about, say, 6 kilometers.
So the protesters have gathered
down
at
there,
Utako.
and we can bring you a report of the protesters from that end.
All right, so if I understand you clearly, the protesters have gathered at Utako and they intend to ply this road, but the road has been cordoned off already and tear gas has been fired into the air, but that seems to have, the effect of that seems to have won out already. But we'd like for you to, let us know how many people, if you can put a number to it, have gathered at the protest ground, and what is the atmosphere like at the protest ground, if you have that information?
See, look, it's not about the atmosphere at the protest ground. There is tension all over Abuja today. right from early in the morning as people were coming to work. As far back as yesterday, people were worried, how am I going to get to the office? And true to the information, getting into town today has been very tense. Everybody is under tension in Abuja because nobody knows what is going to happen. As soon as the Omoyele Sowore gave the press conference yesterday that the protest is going to still take place, tension rose in Abuja. So the whole city is tense. It's not about that. So until we get to Utako, where we believe and understand that the protesters are gathering right now, we cannot actually get the feeling of the protesters. But here already, police have been firing tear gas all around the secretariat. Because I got information
Thank you very much.
The News Central reporter who was there earlier that they were firing tear gas at every minute somewhere behind the secretariat. We are in the front of it, and we have been receiving tear gas here, which I think they got, the police here must have gotten a directive from their senior officers that they were handling it wrongly by shooting tear gas at people and blocking the road. Because if you can see now, a little bit of traffic is moving. 15 minutes ago, this was not so. So for now, I will leave you and head to Utako, and once I get there, I'll give you a signal, if it's possible, to put us back on, to give you a report on exactly what the protesters are doing right now.
Thank you very much. We'll wait. We hope that you get to Utako in good time, and because what we actually want is to see the atmosphere on the protest ground itself. So if you can make it to Utako, please do let us know what is going on right there, and stay safe yourself with your team. Well, there you have it. Well, he said tear gas has been fired about 5 times, but the place looks calm because I've been in a place where tear gas has been fired. I don't think it clears off in such short a time. But maybe, well, anyway, let's go back to Chijoke Oji now. Let's have you've heard the reports from the protest ground, or some places in Abuja where civil servants have been roads that have been cordoned off and preventing civil servants from getting to their places of work. But we can see vehicles now moving, as our reporter just said. But you were saying something about the viability of the protest. Go ahead, please.
When the world saying that when you have a protest, the whole idea is it creates a form of dialogue and allows the government to see the other side that they don't see from their own angle. The whole essence of protests is an objective, raise of condemnation of things that you criticize or do not like. And it's simply a call to the government to awaken to the responsibilities of addressing those issues. It only gets violent or out of hand when we have the responses. Let's not forget that it is usually the responders that creates the next level of crime or scenes, in the situations. These individuals are simply probably carrying those placards and, showcasing their grievances and angers. Now, the police firing tear gas will probably lead to the chaos. And of course, the next thing would probably be live bullets or rubber bullets. And in such situations,
what do you say to a court order? What do you say to a court order that was issued restricting protesters from certain places? And then the police also have said, look, if you defy the court order, we will arrest you. What do you say to that?
Yes, of course, the government would have done that to prevent itself from having direct confrontations with these protesters, because they know that coming to the Aso Rock gate will definitely disrupt the movements of people coming in and out of the villa, which is meant to attract and get the attention of the residents of the villa. But if the government has seen that and decidedly ahead to get the court order and preventing these individuals from there, fine and good, yes. But let's not forget that Nigerians do not need permissions to move around in their own country. This is our country. It belongs to us. It doesn't belong to a few individuals who have taken powers and decidedly on what to do with our own nation. No. Nigerians must reclaim it back. And if indeed this whole relationship is not working and certain individuals are clamoring for a secession, it is not a crime. The same thing is happening globally all over. in nations where people seem to be treated unfairly, they simply request to go their own way. It is not a crime. So I do not think that cordon off areas because you don't want the protesters to come to, for instance, at the National Assembly, which has been a good focal point to be able to address these issues. Excuse me.
All right.
One point of getting the attention of the lawmakers, who are also the ears of the president, and also drumming in the support to ensure that whatever the demands that the protesters are making is being heard. So I do not think that it's out of place to also get a court order, but I do not think that it's also out of order to allow Nigerians who are protesting to walk by these areas, showcasing their grievances and registering these grievances in a cordial manner.
All right, then. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, you can see in the small corner of your screen, live feed from the protest ground, amateur video captured, put out on social media from the protest ground. You could see some persons running. It seemed that he was being chased. And these are some other persons. You can see some people are injured already. And this is from today's protest, indeed. Well, some persons have been injured. Some are scampering for safety as they seem to be chased. Okay. Well, those are reports coming to, well, these were gotten from social media.
But these are the things that trigger beyond this protest to get out of control. Because when you begin to attack the people will rebel. These are the things that I believe Omoyosho would have preached against. I do not think that it is a crime, and it is never stated in the Constitution that Nigerians do not have the legal right to register their grievances. If people are making this registration, they need to be respected. And when we begin to see that this disrespect is coming to a brutal fight, then they should expect that there will be repercussions. Let's not forget that Nigerians do not have the power today to curtail, violences that could even escalate more than the NSAS, which was just a taste of the iceberg.
All right. And we can see, well, thank you very much. Let's get back to the studio as we wrap up this conversation shortly. We can also see Omoyele Sowore right there. We can see our lawyer Jimako right there. That venue of the protest, and we can see vehicles of security agencies, that of Federal Road Safety as well. Well, they seem to have gathered at, this looks like Utako. Well, there you have there you have some protesters moving around. Oh well, Barrister, let's have your thoughts again before, and yes, that's that one where the man was being chased.
Sowore assured Nigerians that it will be peaceful. So what is this thing we are seeing now? That was the first thing he told everybody, that it will be peaceful.
Well, if he says it will be peaceful and things get out of hand, should he be blamed for that?
Of course. Of course.
Even if he conducts himself and others in a peaceful manner?
He was the one that started all this thing without assurances. Without assurances that there will be a peaceful protest.
Pastor, what assurance would you have wanted to see?
Look, if it were properly organized, government would have allowed them to come to the National Assembly, present their grievances in a peaceful manner, and then go home. Somebody would have been there to receive their protest letter, and then everybody go home. But when he went about to calling everybody, calling market women, calling the whole Nigerians, how do you think government would just sit down and be watching and listening? They had to react because the protest, as usual, will get out of hand, as it's getting out of hand now.
Barrister, we have not heard that the people who are part of the protest are destroying things. We always saw happen to be individuals who are marching and chanting solidarity songs, and they are being scared away, by police using tear gas and all that.
Your step is bound. The court said, don't cross this boundary. That was the instruction from the court. If all of us begin to disobey court order like the government, then there will be chaos. Yes, they said, don't cross this boundary.
All right.
Why did you now cross it and expect the government to welcome you and laugh at you? Eventually, this protest, what do you call it? This protest may not even get to government because nobody will be there to receive.
You also said anywhere you protest, there's the media to carry it and people.
The essence is to go to the authorities and present your protest letter. That is the end game of any protest. Let them receive it. Now, with this thing that's going on now, we don't even allow him to get close to National Assembly or to receive any protest letter. It will end up in disarray. That's what I'm telling you here.
All right.
But with the government getting a court order and all that, does it even look like the government wants to get any protest later from people who are protesting?
We have seen protests in this country. Natasha and the people, they went as far as the National Assembly. Is that not true? They went as far as the National Assembly. They entered there. Was she not received? Has she not gone back to her job? Look, the intention.
Yeah, she went back to her job because the suspension expired. It wasn't.
No, if they wanted to, they would have told her to wait until the court order is over. Because that was the initial disagreement.
All right, Barrister. Thank you very much. Now, while we keep our eyes on events happening in Abuja and nationwide, talking about the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest, let's move on to another conversation. And then when we get other reports, we'll bring that one to you. Dangote urges Nigerians to support local products. Of course, this is what a lot of Nigerians have been talking about. A lot of prominent Nigerians actually talking about supporting locally made products. Let's talk about this when we come back.